Let's talk about how to work out which lenses you need as a professional photographer. And this is for any photographer. This is just all photographers, how to work out which lenses you actually need. And this whole video comes about, I'm going to put these down because they're quite weighty, but these are my lenses. There are others, much like them, but these are my ones. But let's talk about how we work out what we need. Let me talk to you about my approach. And this has all come about because I've started selling loads of my kit off. I've just sold 5 lenses. Because I don't need them, and I bought them because I thought I did, and I don't. So let me try and save you all some money, because I use 2 lenses for my stills work, 1 lens for my video work, and I have 1 extra lens, which is important. My 2 lenses are a 90mm Secor and a 50mm Secor. These are lenses designed for 6x7 cameras, but I shoot with them on a Cambo Actors on a 35mm sensor. Now, just to stop any confusion at the offset, when you're using a medium format lens on a 35mm camera, the millimeters that it says it is are what it is. So a 90mm gives a 90mm field of view on a 35mm camera. But when you put it on the 6x7, that 90mm comes out around 45mm field of view, but with 90mm distortion, which is how you get the real 3D look on bigger sensors. But that's not what this video is about. My work, as you can see, is very controlled. It's very contrived. I make my images, literally put the stuff in place and curate the whole thing. I'm not capturing any decisive moments here. This is just purely curated artwork. There are 2 things I think I might want in a lens when I'm choosing which lenses I might want to use. Do I want a compressed background and 0 distortion? If so, 90mm lens, which is this one here. And this bit on the front is a bellows, so you don't get any light bouncing around. You can adjust it depending on how much bouncy light you'd like. It's a big old bit of glass. It's a chunky boy, made in the 1970s. Sharp as anything, incredible detailed rendering. Wide open, it's 3.5, but you can get all the way down to f32 and at f22. Not really much diffraction or chromatic aberrations going on, or any weird bad stuff like that. Wide open is a bit spicy, but I tend to shoot at f16 pretty much for everything. So that is when I choose this lens. Now, what if I want to distort the subject, make it look a bit larger than life, and maybe extend how much of the background we can see? You know, give it a bit of oomph. Then I get my 50 out, because this has got a bit of distortion to it when up close. If you get this up in someone's face, it'll elongate it. It'll distort it, it'll pull the nose forward, which is what this lens here is doing, which is why I look like my head is massive, like one of those bobblehead things at the back of a car. And this is why I've got a 50mm. Now, of course, there are many focal lengths that can do this. Anything from 80 upwards will give you that nice flat image to various degrees. And anything from 50 outwards will give you that wide shot. So why have I got a 50 and a 90? Well, 50 is the widest shot I can get in a Mamiya Secor fit. And the 90mm, my friend was selling it. Should there be more thought into it than this? Probably, but it gets the job done. And before this, I used a 100mm and a 50mm, so I already knew these focal lengths were about right. Now, I've not been able to part with my I've sold the 50mm for my Canon one, but my 100mm is this macro planar, and I really like it, so I've not sold it. I don't need it, I don't use it, but I like it. And sometimes we do use it for video work. If we're doing some food video work, I'll pop it on this camera. It's currently got like a zoom lens just for YouTubiness. But if I want to make some nice food videos, we tend to use this lens. So I have kept it, but I don't need it. I could get away without it, because I could always put my 6K camera on the Cambo and use any of these lenses. So we're going to pretend I don't own that lens, because really I shouldn't own it, and it's bad on me to have that. That cash from that lens could be doing something useful. I could probably do 3 test shoots from that, which is much more important than having a 100mm lens. Now, the other lens that I have that is important is my 35. This is my, I'm not going to put that in my pocket, it'll look weird. This was from when I was a wedding photographer. This is what I shot 90% of a wedding on. When I was a gigs photographer, shot 90% of gigs on this. I shot all of my behind the scenes sort of like on tour stuff with bands on this. This was the lens. You can see it's had a hard life, but it's brilliant. And what we use it for now, predominantly, are behind the scenes images, because they have real value in commercial jobs. It is really important to be able to show people that you've been on the big set in the big studio. You want to get that out there. So I always give my assistant one of these cameras. This is a 5DS with this lens on it, and go, look, grab some behind the scenes shots, bang the ISO, it's like 1600, put it in aperture priority mode, just get some nice shots of everyone at work, get the whole team at work, and we can use those in case studies and treatments and stuff in the future, because it looks cool. So this is the only lens I have that doesn't directly make money. So how should you choose your lenses? Well, I think the first thing you should think about is, do you need a distorting wide lens? If you do, what is going to be the most versatile and usable focal length? You might go, well, actually, I need something between like 20 millimeters and 30, and you might get a zoom. That's absolutely fine. But then do you need that 24 to 70 as well, or can the 70 to 200 fill that gap? When I did use zooms at gigs, we used a 16 to 35 for one body, and the other body had a 70 to 200, because that between the 35 and 70 on the other zoom lens, it just wasn't worth having, because yes, there's millimeters in there, but it's a bit of a dead space, isn't it? I think most photographers could get away with 2 to 3 lenses. I don't think many of us need more than that. But if you're anything like me, you'd have had more than that, because it was a crutch. It was a safety net, something to make you feel like no matter what happened, you'd got the problem solved. But really, and this comes after 15 years of doing this, those 2 lenses, the 90 and the 50, they do everything. Up until the point of realizing I'd gone a bit far on the old lens front, I had got 1635. What's this one here? Hang on. I don't even know what this lens is. 1835, 1740, 2470, 70 to 200, 24, 35, 250s, 3 100s, and an 85. What are we up to there? 18 lenses? I used 2 of them. And it was really scary selling off that extra kit that I'd bought, and I probably lost thousands on that kit, because a lot of it was Canon kit, and Canon lenses don't hold their value from new to used very well, whereas these lenses here are currently worth more than I paid for them, which is doing a lot better than any stocks and shares I had at the moment. I'm going to move these somewhere less precarious. So yes, I'm slowly minimizing my kit. I'm slowly making it less and less, because I like the thought of when I turn up to a set going, right, do I want distortion or not? 50 or 90? Do I want compression or not? 50 or 90? Those 2 decisions are enough for me. I've already got my camera body chosen. I've already got my lighting chosen, because I use hard light most of the time. Then simplifying these things just means it's less to worry about, and I can focus on the shot. If I need to choose between 18 lenses, that's a lot of choices. There's a reason why I only own black t-shirts. I now have an overshirt and 2 jackets as well. But I only own black t-shirts and blue jeans. My shoes are all the same. I don't want to make those decisions. I will get decision fatigue if I have to keep making choices. It is much easier when I do these YouTube videos to go, the lens is on the camera, we shoot with it wide. We're at 5.6, 18 millimeters every single time. I don't have to go, I wonder what lens will look best for this shot. I just go, here's the shot, get the work done. And I like that. And I wish I hadn't fallen into the trap of buying all of the lenses and all of the gear and all of the kit, so that I just had every option available. It is not a good thing. You will not lose a shot by not having the right lens. You will lose a shot by choosing the wrong lens, or by procrastinating and spending all of your mental energy worrying about the kit instead of what's in front of it. And that's not to say kit's not important. The 90 and 50mm lens I chose were chosen very specifically with a lot of research done into it. The 100mm Milvus, when I bought that before I had the Cambo, I researched that for a long time before splashing the cash. But really, did it make a big difference over having the gold ring Canon 100mm lens that cost £1,500 less? No, not really. It didn't make me any more money, didn't get me any better jobs. It's a nice bit of kit to use, but it really didn't make that much difference. Anyway, the point of the video, how to choose your lenses. Work out, do you need distortion? Do you need background compression or not? Do you need versatility? If you could only use 2 lenses, let me know in the comments below what 2 lenses they would be. And if you own those 2 lenses amongst many others, put all the others in a box. Give it a go with just the 2 lenses for now. I thoroughly believe, even as a wedding photographer, 35 and an 85 I could have shot a whole wedding. Whole wedding. As a band photographer, a 70-200 on one body and a 35 on the other, could have done the whole thing. As a still life photographer, I could probably really get away with just a 90, but sometimes I like a bit of distortion to give that heroic feel, which is why I have the 50, which very rarely gets used. 95% of my portfolio is shot on that 90mm lens. There's the odd frame here and there where we've got the wide lens out, and it works when it works, but really it's not something I need. Anyway, I hope this has been of use to you. If you have any questions, let me know down below and I'll do my best to answer them. I'll see you all soon. Bye-bye.